5555 Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I'll stand down by the door and catch the gray man when they dive from the 14th floor. When Black Friday comes, it's Black Monday around here. It's come on, Ballou. Give up your fictitious life of being a 3-pack-a-day smoking classic rock graveyard DJ. That's Steely Dan, the late Walter Becker, the great Donald Fagen. Black Monday is the NFL. Will Trent Baalke survive? Will Doug Peterson survive? Everyone has an opinion. It's nearly unanimous they gone. But there's eerie silence through Duval today. And it's a very unappreciative type of feel. I mean, let us know, right? Play the cards you're given. Let us know. On a milk carton is Shad Khan. We get it, Shad. We're not in London. We're in Duval. We would like some sort of transparency. We would like some sort of a signal. What did we get today? We got a pizza cook-off that the Jaguars sent out. It was a big grudge match today between ETN and, who was it? Anton Harrison. Am I one of those curmudgeons that's like, they should have no fun? All they do is lose. They shouldn't be walking around having a good time. Honestly, yeah, kind of. But have you ever seen an organization that accepts losing like this football team does? I mean, they welcome. Hey, Ballou, they just won. They knocked off Tennessee. They hurt their drive. Oh, okay. Never mind then. I mean, it's unbelievable. It really is. If you want to have a pizza cook-off, fine. If you want to show a little bit of camaraderie to take it with you 9 months from now, fine. But do you have to video it? Do you have to send it out? I mean, how about a little bit of respect? How about a little bit of, are you kidding me? Look at what you did to this fan base. You destroyed them. And you did it in September by losing the first 4 games. And now you're flipping pizza and everyone smiles ear to ear. I mean, you're 4-12. And you know what tradition is for the Jacksonville Jaguars? Losing. That's their tradition. It just makes no sense. Mike Vrabel interviewed today in New York. You think Mike Vrabel would allow that to happen if he was the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars? I love Jaguar fans. I mean, I've had it for you forever. You talk about a crush. Man, I have a massive crush on Jaguar fans. But many of you thought you were too good for Bill Belichick. Just take that with you on a Friday. And just say it to yourself. You're too good for Bill Belichick? You think Bill Belichick would allow a pizza cook-off after this team mightily disappointed once again you, the fan base, in Duval? And Andrew Wingard, we saw him 2 weeks ago. Andrew Wingard, in his mind, he thinks he's freaking Ronnie Lott, right? And he's telling us he's a baller. He's telling us he's a gamer. He's throwing the coaching staff under the bus. He's saying he wants to yell. He wants to scream. I doubt anyone in the locker room has been as loud as I am right now on the radio. And what happens while that interview is actually taking place in Las Vegas? You can hear chatter in the background. Players laughing. Players having a good time. They just embarrassed themselves again and lost the game. You need some freaking accountability. You need some discipline. I understand the world we're in. It's all about the players. You can't scold anymore. The days of Lombardi and Coughlin are gone. They are. But you're holding a freaking pizza party and a cook-off, and you're sending it out for Jaguar fans. And I'd love to say that these Jaguar fans, their holidays were ruined. The holidays weren't ruined. You let it be known that there would be zero season when you went 0-4 in September. You gave them no chance at all. None. At least Indianapolis, they ruined the holidays. They caved in last week to the New York Giants. They gave that fan base in Indianapolis at least a glimmer, at least a taste, at least a tiny bit of, we're in the weakest division in the NFL. Do we possibly have a chance to win this year? They took it for 17 weeks in 16 games. Your Jaguars, they put it right in the diaper in September. They said 4-0, we're done. Give me Kirby Smart. Give me a guy who gets outcoached the way he did last night by Al Golden, the way he did last night by Marcus Freeman, okay? But a guy who cares, a guy who screams at officials, a guy who screams at the media, a guy who screams at the SEC commissioner, a guy who has got a player in his team that social media has gone crazy with in Parker Jones, who somehow ran into an official during Georgia's 66-yard passing catch yesterday. There's a guy who cares. Do you think he's having a pizza party today where they're having a big competition to see who bakes the best pizza? That's the problem in this city. This city, I shouldn't say this city because the fans are pissed. This organization accepts losing. There's no other way to say it. Thankfully, this ends on Monday. It'll actually end at 4 o'clock on Sunday. But hopefully it ends on Monday. Significant changes have to be made for the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars. And just smarten up a little bit. I mean, use your brain. You're smart people. No one wants to see that everyone's having a fun time cooking pizza when you lose week after week after week after week after week after week after week. No one wants to see that. They want to see that you're upset. They want to see that you care. They want to see that you let down this fan base. I mean, where's just the normal decency? Just simple respect for your fans. Have the party. Don't film it. Don't tell us about it. Gosh, man, it is such a yellow brand, such a soft brand. And look at Jim Harbaugh. You know what Jim Harbaugh brought to Los Angeles? Brother, he brought a culture. He brought with him, look at his speeches after games. He's got those players where they're ready to run through a friggin' brick wall. Look at this team. Coma in the first quarter. We're going to script 15 plays. We're going to go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. But, I mean, it's the same thing every week. God, I feel for you. I do. I'm going to be able to get through this because I'm going to turn to golf, in the NHL, in conference hoops, in the NBA, in Major League Baseball, in the offseason, in the NFL, in the offseason. But a lot of you are just that, no. Let me give it all up. Take my January and February, take my March, take it all. Just get me to September, There are some of you out there that are that simple, that you'd give up that many days, that many weeks and months. And then this team does that to you. They don't care. They collected a check. This team doesn't care. This team doesn't have the will. This team doesn't have the spirit. It doesn't have the oomph. I love the teams in the 90s. They cared. I understand social media wasn't around then. You think Baselli and Cersei and Beasley and Pete Mitchell and you think they would have been hosting a pizza cook-off if they were 4-12? You think how freaking soft are they? It's unbelievable. This thing, I don't care if it's a John Deere or I don't care if it's a Deere John. I don't care who it is. You got to bulldozer that damn thing, start to finish, completely over. You need fresh blood. You need a man's man to lead this organization. Someone who's smart enough to understand, I can't raise my voice anymore to today's players because they'll rebel, right? But also dictate respect. Look at what Jim Harbaugh's done. I kind of didn't believe it after the shenanigans at Michigan. I was like, really? I mean, of course, he couldn't get along with Trent, but no one gets along with Trent, right? And no one gets along with Bulky. And here we are still wondering. This is going to severely affect your weekend because you don't know. You deserve to know. He should have been fired 2 years ago. But here it is, Friday, and try to enjoy your weekend. But I know how Jaguar fans think. And you're not going to let 5 minutes go by without asking. You can be in a deep conversation with your girlfriend. You can have the kids out at the park. You can go see the new Bob Dylan movie at the movie theater. And regardless of what you're doing, 5 minutes of your time will not go by without you thinking, is Trent Baalke going to get fired on Monday? The owner of this organization? Don't bother with him. He'll get to it when he gets to it. I've had some who've said he won't even make up his mind on Monday. What in God's name are you waiting for? You haven't already made up your mind? You need more time? Are you trying to tell us the performance on Sunday can actually make a difference, a meaningless game in Indianapolis, that the outcome of that could have an effect on the decision? You know what's picking up steam in some circles? All of a sudden, the confidence in Doug Peterson. Can you believe that this type of stuff is still filtering throughout the First Coast? It just blows me away. It really does. It just amazes me. And if I've said it 1,000 times, I'll say it again. I could care less about the players and coaches of this football team. I care only about you, the Jaguars fan. And you have been treated horribly. Poor performance, coaches and players. And it begins at the top of the organization. It's the same deal every week. They're not ready. They're not ready to play a football game at 1 o'clock. They're ready around 2. That's coaching. That's lack of leadership. It's the same. Look at what they do on offense every single week. The brilliant scripted 15 plays by Press Taylor are an absolute joke. You know what the 15 plays from Press Taylor equal? A 3-and-out. Punt team. Bring in your all-pro punter and bring in your all-pro deep snapper. I'll never stop screaming about this, folks, whether it's here on this radio station or it's outside my front window. I'm always going to fight for you. You deserve better. You deserve better, Jaguar fans, than what you've been handed this year. And they're having a pizza cook-off. I mean, and I let so much go by. Had everyone get to me last week, well, you're going to bring up the fact that the mascot got punched out by the Tennessee. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to bring that type of stuff up. It's crap, whatever. I mean, someone's doing their job. They made a mistake. People make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. But it's just another example. It really doesn't matter, man. The franchise is worth more today than it was yesterday. Today, during the pizza cook-off, the franchise is worth more than it was 1 week ago. That's all that matters. It's worth more. More money. Players got another check. Makes no sense at all to win this game. I haven't bet in 10.5 years. I feel like just unloading the bank account right now, putting it all on Jacksonville. You know they're going to go out and win this game on Sunday. You just know it. Isn't that classic Jacksonville? Tell me I'm wrong. 641-1010. Text line brought to you by Lifetime and Coach. Please tell me I'm wrong. Dylan, I haven't bet in 10.5 years. I may whip the staple out of my wallet. You're giving me 5 now. The money's coming in on Jacksonville. The public's coming in on Jacksonville. I may load up on Jaguars on Sunday.
Not a bad idea. I remember a month ago we were about to face a bunch of tough, bad teams, and everybody's like, "We're not going to win another game." I'm like, "Yeah, we are. We still face the Raiders, the Titans, the Colts. Not a lot of teams to play for anything, and now we sit here and we can sweep 2 teams in division."
Who do you think would win the 10-10XL pizza cook-off? Then again, we've been successful this year around here. You got to be a 4-12 bottom-of-the-barrel organization to publicly announce that you're having a pizza cook. Who do you think would win the station's pizza cook-off?
Josie would find someone to...
Joe's kind of that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Joe's the type of guy, too, who would cook it, not eat it. Have like one bite.
He would have a good video, though.
Yeah.
Because it's for the video, Rick.
A pizza cook-off, people. Everything's great around here. Don't let it go, Ballou. It's just, they need their normal life. You deserve better, Jaguar fans. That's all I'm saying. It's on you, Shad Khan. Fix it. Try again. You failed every time so far. Try again. Bring in a general manager, bring in a head coach, bring in some leaders, and fix this thing. All right, opening comments brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Bet you they'd be great in a pizza cook-off. I may give it to Dr. John Hunt, the newest member of Shmunez Vision, to win the pizza cook-off. Along with Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. Neo Shmunez. Listen, it's pretty simple. You got problems with your eyes, check them out online. Just go to Shmunez Vision. All right. The very latest, regardless of what it is, it could be simply you want 20/20 for the rest of your life. That's laser eye surgery, more than 30 years worth of experience. What about something far more significant? That includes cataract surgery. Okay. They've done it to each other. They've operated on each other. I had an operation 8.5 years ago by Dr. Neo Shmunez. There's never been a setback. They are absolutely the best around. Shmunez Vision. Also check them out on Instagram. Get all of the testimonials by checking them out there. We got tons to do. A Friday edition. Black Friday. Well, pardon me. No such thing as Black Friday here in Jacksonville. Black Monday, you are going to have to sit back and wait.
There's a lot more to it than a tight spiral and an accurate pass.
Everyone agrees that playing quarterback is the hardest thing to do in sports.
Denny Thompson is the Cornerback Whisperer. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet. Friday mornings on The Drill.
Ballou here for Shmunez Vision. Why Shmunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Shmunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Shmunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Shmunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit shmunezvision.com today. Here you can see.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and if I know anything about the dudes that listen to 1010, they've got their own list of toys that they'd like to have for Christmas. You've got some of them in your showroom.
We've got all of them. We've got the toys for them. We got the toys for the kids. We got go-karts, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, ATVs, you name it. We've got it, and we are ready for Christmas.
So you can shop for yourself and for your loved ones. It's all happening at Cycles of Jacksonville, online or on Atlantic near Regency.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
Pre-Game Friday
Built by Dreamfinders Homes.
on 1010XL.
Ammon, you're always talking about how clean air is healthy air. I've had this cold for weeks. Can cleaning my air ducts actually help?
Well, Dad, I'm not a doctor, and let's be honest, you probably caught that cold from one of your grandkids. But I can tell you this, the cleaner your air, the better you'll feel.
Makes sense, but what do air ducts have to do with it?
Your ducts are like the lungs of your home. If they're full of dust, allergens, and who knows what else, all that junk gets blown into the air you breathe, especially now that the heat's running. And the EPA says improving indoor air quality can reduce health risk.
So you're telling me my vents are working harder than my immune system?
Exactly. That's why Zero Res is here. We're NADCA certified, and our truck mount system is the most powerful in the industry. Right now, we're even offering $100 off your total for January.
All right, sign me up. If it makes me feel better and keeps your mom off my back, I'm all in.
Good call, Dad.
Zero Res.
Spelled border backwards.
It's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a walk-in closet that's not only beautiful, but also incredibly functional for me and old Beau Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 800-293-3744. Hey, and if you mention Mia or Helmets and Heels, you'll qualify for free base molding. Call today or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Learn more about the beautiful game of soccer and its impact on the River City.
What a beautiful thing to behold.
Get an hour of soccer talk on the Sporting Jack Soccer Hour.
That's all I want to know.
Tuesday at 6 p.m. on 1010 a.m.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What do I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir t-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Hey, Hicken here with a message from Zero Res. Guess what? We love rugs. We'll treat your fine Oriental rugs with tender, loving care they deserve. How about Gerard, the Zero Res rug cleaning manager, one of the few certified master rug cleaners in the state of Florida? If you want your rugs cleaned with tender, loving care, call Zero Res. Right now, have one rug washed and we'll wash a second rug free. That's right, buy one, the second one on me. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Frank Franzi here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Like to introduce the band on bass, Trent Baalke. On acoustic guitar, Trent Baalke. On synthesizer, Trent Baalke. On drums, with a drum solo coming up, Trent Baalke. And right up there with David Gilmour, Jimi Hendrix, and let's go Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top fame. The best combo lead singer, lead guitarist at all of rock and roll, Trent Baalke. He survived Black Friday. Will he survive Black Monday? You got to take that with you this weekend. You think they get it a little bit? The consumer, the fan. Black Monday. We'll find out here, okay? But it's going to be an incredible day. I mean, the Jets are without a coach. The Saints are without a coach. The Bears are without a coach, right? The Jets are without a general manager. I think common thought would have been get out in front of it. You know, don't be like everyone else. Be a leader here. Let it be known that you're in the market for a new GM. You're in the market for a new head coach. But that's not the way Jacksonville does things. So now we're going to sit around here and wait on Monday. Also going to wait to see what happens in New England, right? With Jared Mayo, it's been just an awful season there. Oh, you think I'm nasty with this organization? Do you have any idea what the contrarians are saying in Boston about this first-year head coach who called the team soft, who said that this team, once they cross the lines, he can't help them? I mean, he could be a one and done. They're praying that Bill Belichick was back, even though he struggled his last couple of years. You could have a big coaching change in New England coming up on Monday. Tom Brady. This in itself is something that has been completely buried by the media. How's Tom Brady allowed to be a national broadcaster and a minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, right? Could Antonio Pierce be fired just after 1 year? A lot of people believe that. New England's 3-13 right now. Las Vegas, 4-12. Brian Daboll. This one's scary. For all of the Ben Johnson fans, for all of the Liam Cohen fans, for all of the Joe Brady fans, for all of those who are just so fully invested in the hot offensive coordinator, go back 2 years and look at Brian Daboll and dive into his resume. Look at his years spent as a position coach, working his way up with Bill Belichick, spending 1 year with Nick Saban, then going and working with McDermott and Allen in Buffalo. And he went with his general manager, who was the assistant general manager in Buffalo, to New York. And the Giants, that thing's ready to implode. They could both be sent packing on Monday. That's another job that could open up. Stan Steichen, right here, Indianapolis, right? Fourth year, or actually this is his second year. I think it's year 7 for Chris Ballard. A lot of talk that they could be shown the door. I read a couple of articles today saying that they believe that Stan Steichen is going to be able to survive this, all right? Only 2 years, he's 16-17. We'll see. Mike McDaniel in Miami. Feels like that thing is kind of run its course, albeit much like in Indianapolis, where it was announced earlier today that Anthony Richardson is not playing. Tua has been out. That's a problem when you lose your quarterback. Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, really surprised by that. I mean, it's just one bad year. He's a great coach. If Kyle Shanahan was fired by San Francisco, that would arguably be my first call. That is a proven coach. And in this article, I think I got it out of, it was on Yahoo a little bit earlier today, listed him. We've had plenty of conversations about Zach Taylor. I think he's going to survive it. You better hope so, because that's the one deal that is better than Jacksonville. It's the only one that is. It's because you have Joe Burrow and you have proven talent around him. Okay, a very bad offensive line, but Burrow is special. There's no guarantee that Trevor Lawrence is going to get to the level of Joe Burrow. Then it mentions Cleveland. Hey, Cleveland fires managers about every year, or head coaches about every year. That's a lot of openings. And how many proven head coaches do you have? Belichick's gone, although apparently the way his contract is written, he could still turn around and coach an NFL team. I think that would be beyond bizarre. But again, I do listen to you. I listen to Jaguar fans all the time. And you have told me time and again, you're not interested in Bill Belichick, right? I mean, you're just not interested. And I'm sorry, but to me, that is absolutely hilarious. I mean, I love you, but you believing you're too good for Bill Belichick? Wow. Mike Vrabel? Who else? Ron Rivera? Is it Cliff Kingsbury? He was asked about it yesterday in D.C. Would love to be a head coach again. And then it's offensive and defensive coordinators. If Marcus Freeman wins the national title at Notre Dame, is he going to be a guy that all of a sudden, 2 years in a row, Michigan won it a year ago, Harbaugh comes back. We know Harbaugh had plenty of experience here in the NFL. Marcus Freeman does not. Does Marcus Freeman even entertain the idea of wanting to go to the NFL? Again, college coaches have struggled at this level. There have been a couple of exceptions. Pete Carroll, certainly, you can go way back to the days of Bill Walsh, and you can bring up Jim Harbaugh. But where else are you going to go? If Trent Baalke is the guy, and I still think he is going to be the guy, okay, I hope I'm wrong. There's nothing I enjoy better than showing up here on Monday, you telling me that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about because he lost his job. Do you have any idea? And I hate to say it that way because I don't want to see anyone lose their job. I really don't. But when you're not good at your job, you need to be replaced. And he's made a ton of money. All right? I don't think he's living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm sure that the way that contract is written, if he is let go, he's going to get a pretty nice severance package when he does leave. But if he's the guy that's calling these shots, the coaches I just mentioned, well, let's start by cutting that in half. And then let's start getting realistic. Let's bring in Bill O'Brien. Let's bring in Nate Hackett. Let's bring in Eberflus. That's what you're looking at. I've heard it from many people. I know you have. Greg Huntington yesterday talking about Ben Johnson right here on these airwaves. Actually did not hear that from Greg, but I've heard it from several other people. If you got it all in for Ben Johnson, he's not coming if Trent Baalke's running this team. He's not coming. Coming up next, Zack Goodall covers the beat for the Jaguars for USA Today. Let's get the very latest on this game, and let's get a fresh opinion. What does he think will happen coming up on Monday? All of that is next.
Happy New Year from everyone at Nimnik Buick GMC. Frank Frangie here. As we kick off 2025, there's no better time to find your next vehicle. Start the year strong with the best selection, unbeatable prices, and a team that's here to help you every step of the way. Because when it comes to putting you first, there's nobody but Nimnick. Remember, Nimnick Buick GMC has the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. Shop 24/7 at NimnickBuickGMC.com or visit the showroom on Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hello, sports fans. Hicken here. Let's talk skin. I Am Beaches Dermatology are reminding you to wear your sunscreen. If you're an active parent hanging at the fields, in your boat to fish, or like to chill at the sandbar, wear sunscreen. But if you're the one that decided for years it's not cool, guess what? Cancer isn't cool either. So when grabbing the clubs for your tea time, gassing up the boat, or grabbing the chairs for your kids' games, make sure you bring the screen. Any concerns now? Give Beaches Dermatology a call online at beachesdermatology.com.
Hi, I'm Janelle. A little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is the bold flavors. It's very savory. And that golden crispy outside of the sandwich just lets me know that it's going to be so perfectly juicy on the inside.
I'm Sawyer, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is the crispy chicken filet. You get the tenderness of the chicken and that zesty pickle. It's savory and tasty. What's not to love? The holidays are all about being together and eating together.
Sandwich in some together time this holiday. Order the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich today. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Get off the ladder and put on the helmet with Gutter Helmet of North Florida. We are family owned and manufactured locally. Cleaning your gutters is a dangerous and dirty job. That's why with Gutter Helmet, you'll never clean your gutters again. Water goes in your gutters while trash and debris go on the ground. It won't collect like filters do. Gutter Helmet protects. Call now for 10% off and a free gutter cleaning and tune-up with your purchase of Gutter Helmet. Call 904-762-7779.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 3rd, 1991, hockey legend Wayne Gretzky becomes the fastest and youngest player in NHL history to score 700 goals at the age of 29 in 886 games.
This is Walker Little of your Jacksonville Jaguars for Kingfish Pest Control. I've been a Kingfish customer for a while now and can confirm that their service is incredible. Not only do they protect my family from pests, Kingfish's office staff is the friendliest around. They even email me a photo of the tech before arriving at my home. Kingfish Pest Control is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Be sure to enter their Swat That Kick sweepstakes for free pest control for 3 years. Go to kingfishpest.com and tell them Walker Little sent you.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
What's happening, sports bettors? E.T. here for MyBookie. And you have 6 huge college games prior to the weekend and more NFL bangers on Saturday and Sunday. Let's talk motivation as the Browns travel to play the Ravens on Saturday. Ravens are favored by 17.5. The Ravens win and the NFC North is theirs. But a loss and the Steelers win against Cincinnati will drop them to the 5 or 6 seed. Ravens should go all out against the Browns. And it's parlay all day. The spread is huge, but doable, as is the over on the 42-point game total. The game to watch, and it determines who wins the NFC North. And the 1 seed in the conference is the Vikings, are a 2.5-point underdog at Detroit. Both teams are going all out. The Lions may have a hangover after a tough Monday nighter. Take the Vikings getting 2 points. Sign up now at MyBookie and still get a 50% deposit bonus. That's half your money back on your very first deposit up to $1,000. Your promo code, 1010XL. So make yourself some cash money with MyBookie. Come on, somebody.
American Electrical is looking for bright minds and hard workers to help light up North Florida. The community continues to grow, and now you can grow your career with a company that will make sure you succeed through commitment. Take advantage of the Electrical Academy, dedicated to training select students. And the best news, it's free of charge. Log on to american-electrical.com to find out more. They're leading the way in electrical contractors on the First Coast, and you can be part of the team. American Electrical, powered by professionalism. Equal opportunity employer.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
In a year that has been full of obstacles for the Jaguars, the special teams unit has had plenty of time to shine. Long snapper Ross Matisic and punter Logan Cook were selected to the Pro Bowl for a bright season. Listen into the moment kicker Cam Little told the two they were Pro Bowlers in yesterday's special teams meeting.
Obviously, Ross and Logan, they've been a good help to me, and it goes unnoticed a lot, but their snapping and holding is the best in the league. Y'all come help up here. Ross and Logan, come up here. Ross is putting the laces out every week. Obviously, Logan's got the highest net in league history, so it's pretty sick. And I just wanted to tell both of y'all are both starting in the Pro Bowl this year.
I'm Max Fink here with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Well, the setting is Lucas Oil Stadium, 1 o'clock on Sunday. We'll have it for you right here on 1010, the AM, 92.5, the FM. All the pregame, postgame, Indy favored by 5, your total 43.5. This is what it's all about. 7-9, Indianapolis, 4-12, Jacksonville. Zack Goodall, our guest. Of course, he joins us from the Jaguars Wire, part of the USA Today family, covers the Jaguars beat. Zach, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Rick.
Man, it's been, I like to say it's been a quick season, a fast season, but that would be a lie. This thing feels like for Jaguar fans, it's been a torture since week 1.
Yeah, we're really crawling, inching our way here towards the end, right? And at the same time, who's to say it's not the beginning? I mean,
yeah, I wish we knew, and we don't know, and I think that's troublesome in itself. Let me put you right on the spot. What do you think happens here on Monday?
Going to give you the greatest non-answer of all time. I don't know. And I'm not the first person on our beat that said this. I know John Shipley with SI says it a lot, but this silence is deafening. Since that Week 11 report came out from NFL Network, of all places, that, a loss could lead towards the Jaguars firing both Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson, there's been nothing of substance that's come from really, I think, anyone credible at this point to point one way or another. You've heard bits and pieces from esteemed journalists. I think Albert Breer said a couple weeks ago that he heard Trent Baalke could retire. I've not heard that before that. I've not heard it since then. And I'm sure we've all seen plenty of different theories as to whether or not they stay or go. It might be the most interesting storyline of the Jaguars season at this point. Do they stay or do they go? And I really, at this point, don't think we're going to know until Sunday or Monday, one way or another. I don't think it'll be silent much longer. I think that we would hear one way or another, but it'll be fascinating to see.
I've always looked at this as separating the football itself from the business, and I don't think you can combine the two. But this, to me, has become the exception. I've been doing this for 34 years. I've heard forever, if you don't fire this guy, if you don't make a replacement here, I'm not buying season tickets anymore. And I always laugh at the fan because I know that in a one-horse town, you take them through the dog days of the spring and summer, they all come back. I honestly believe that this year, Zach, for the first time, if they don't make changes with Trent Baalke and with Doug Peterson, I think business-wise, this is going to be a disaster for Sean Khan.
Sure. I feel that there's a sense of apathy wide-ranging across the Jaguars fan base. I don't think it's just the the online base that is certainly loud at times. I think that you could see it. I mean, we've seen it in the home games here every other week to end the season. People aren't showing up, and I don't think people are super excited about what's going on. And I'm with you. I usually try not to take the threats of January and February or December, I guess, not renewing season tickets too seriously. But the signs are pointing to fans desperately wanting change. And I don't think that would slow down if there isn't any change come the next couple of weeks. I think that there would certainly be some repercussions from it.
All right, hypothetically speaking, if it does happen on Monday, you got to get to work early. There could be as many as 8 vacant jobs open this year in the NFL. We know that right now there's already 3. We keep hearing about Ben Johnson bringing in the brightest offensive mind. I love that. Just give us your thoughts on what they should do and how believable is it that a guy can finally get the ultimate talent, if you will, or production, if you will, out of a healthy Trevor Lawrence?
That's the most important thing here, regardless of who they hire. Whether it's the offensive coordinator approach that you pair with Lawrence, like they thought they were doing with Doug Peterson, albeit as a former head coach already, or you go for someone that's going to be more CEO-based, offensive or defensive coordinator, pass doesn't really matter, but you're bringing them in to restore the culture. But that coach has to nail their offensive coordinator hire. It's got to be. And I know that people sometimes feel certain ways about players being involved in the decisions of the franchise, but Trevor Lawrence's extension hasn't even kicked in yet, and it won't. Like, he's here for a long time, and he's the biggest investment that this franchise has made outside of, I guess, its stadium at this point. I think Shad Khan has to involve Trevor Lawrence in this, and whether you let him make that decision or not is a different situation, but you have to go to Trevor and ask for his opinion and the plan. I mean, if it's Liam Cohen or Ben Johnson, for one, like, is this a coordinator? Does their style of offense, does what they've put on tape work for Trevor Lawrence? And I don't think Shad Khan should say no because Trevor says no necessarily, but you have to take that into account, I think.
Zack Goodall, our guest, part of the Jaguars Wire with USA Today, joining Rick Ballou as we go into the night. Every team interviews differently, and when the interviews begin here, it's going to be it's going to be very time-consuming, and it's going to be, if it is Ben Johnson, you hope that Detroit goes deep into the playoffs. You hope they go to the Super Bowl, because Jacksonville, if they fire Trent Baalke, they're going to have to find a front office type, a new general manager before they actually pursue and begin to interview a whole head coach. So this becomes that much more complex, the entire situation around it. And I think, unfortunately, for a lot of our listeners, that's a feather in the cap for Trent Baalke.
Yeah, I agree. And I could see the way in which a head coach is pursued first, or maybe a head coach and GM pair are pursued in unison. I mean, I know that there have been names that have floated around Ben Johnson. I remember last time there was a head coaching search here, and it went well into February, and I can't imagine that Shad Khan is going to want to have that happen again. But before it was Doug Peterson, it was Byron Leftwich being paired with Adrian Wilson, right? So maybe there is that combination out there that they could bring them both in at the same time, or even a head coach before a GM. But yeah, otherwise I agree. I think that when you put these in a vacuum, if you're to look at Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson, and one were to go, one were to stay, I think that there are more arrows pointing Baalke's way at this point. You can, I guess, point to Brian Thomas and Jarian Jones as one from this past draft cycle, but that's not to boost him up either. I think that if I were making this decision based on where the franchise is and what the expectations are, I would want a clean house. Mm-hmm. But if you're to pick one or the other, I do think the arrow points a little bit more towards Trent for the reasons that you and I have both said.
All right. I haven't spoken to you about this off air. I've had this conversation with many people for years. I'm just wondering if you know, and if you don't want to mention names, that's fine. But I've always been concerned about the lack of inner circle for Shad Khan. Who are his football people? Who does he talk to in general about this game? Who gives him advice on what he should do? Are you aware of anyone?
Not really. I mean, I know that they're obviously he and Tony. I'm sure Tony is in his dad's ear plenty because he is like, ear to the ground and involved and has a smart football mind. But otherwise, kind of the similar point of earlier, like Shad Khan is keeping this quiet. He's keeping his lips sealed on what he wants to do. And I think that's just kind of how he operates.
Yeah.
And that would apply to his circle too.
Hey, as we wrap things up, for me, without any question, the biggest problem this year was just how incredibly inept they were to begin games offensively. Those scripted plays didn't work. They could not move the ball. They could not put up points in the first 15 minutes. Is there an aspect of this team that really stuck out for you this year?
I think that's one of them. I think their belief that they needed to make changes wholesale to the defense in the offseason, but not touch the offense largely, and for the defense to have taken as drastic a step back. We can, now that these end of season numbers are really approaching, we can really look at it. I think they're allowing 40, 45 yards more and 4 points. That's an extra drive per game for a defense and one fewer drive per game for your offense. And it's not to pair with, they were mediocre on both sides of the ball to begin with last year. It was nothing really to hang your hat on, at least once things started slowing down closer to the end of the year, especially with Trevor hurt. But it got so much worse. And there have been moments, there have been glimpses, largely against not great offenses, where the defense has put together some solid performances, but you can pick apart so many holes in this defense at this point, and it makes you wonder, what did they see that so drastically required change with the defense, and then what was their evaluation process to determine that this group was going to be better with the additions that they made both to coaching and to personnel, because it's way worse.
Hey, Zach, I truly believe this. Unless Cincinnati opens, which I don't think it will because I think they win tomorrow, this is the best job in the NFL. Okay? You've got the weather. You've got the tax situation. You've got a quarterback. You've got to find a guy that can develop this quarterback. You have a superstar at wide receiver. You have your two tackles. You've got some good defensive players. You've got money to spend. You've got draft capital. This is the best vacant job in the NFL.
Yeah, I lean that way. And there's so many, these openings that could pop up. Maybe that surprise us would change that, but I lean that way. And I think that most coaches, even general managers, because despite the spending and despite some contracts that are going to be on these books for a little bit, Eric Armstead, for one, I think it's the most obvious, or Gabe Davis that stands out. But there's still so many resources at play for a general manager here that the combo of these jobs, I think, should put Jacksonville atop the list for a lot of prospective coaches, GMs, and certainly agents.
Hey, Zach, best of luck. I know that your career is going to wrap up here with the Jaguars Wire. On Monday, you'll be making an announcement shortly about what is next for you. But as always, wish you the very best.
Thank you so much, Rick. Always appreciate the time.
There he goes, Zack Goodall. Does a very nice job. I'm going to miss him here in town, unless he does announce that he's doing something else here in town. But appreciate his effort and everything that he does with the USA Today and the Jaguars Wire. So it's so frustrating for me, and I got a sense it was frustrating for Zach because we don't know because of the silence. And this will be the second time I've already said it this hour, but I say it all the time because I honestly mean it. I try to do the show, and I've always tried to do the show based on what I think you want to hear as fans of this team. Isn't it almost like I hope it doesn't ruin your weekend, but it's like, come on, you've got to be kidding me. How is nothing leaked? Why is there nothing of any substance at all that this thing is blowing up on Monday? And again, I can wait till Monday. It's not about me. Zack Goodall can wait till Monday. I feel for you. I do. You deserve better. You can have 8 openings. and now it's a merry-go-round. Can you get an interview with Ben Johnson? Can you get an interview with Mike Vrabel? Mike Vrabel interviewing today in New York. They've already interviewed 4 general managers and 5 prospective head coaches. They're trying to get ahead of it. Now, New York hasn't been to the playoffs in 14 years. Jacksonville made it to the playoffs a couple of years ago. But I just wish that they thought differently. And they don't. And it's painful. All right, let's get ready for hour number 2. Let's get you involved this hour. The best way to do it is our text line. 641-1010. Getting fired up. 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
It's just the Jags and the NFL.
That's all I ever think about.
Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony bring you Jaguars Today.
Exactly.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studio.
Let's do this, shall we?
10 to noon on
1010XL.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hey, poker fans! The Best Bet Winter Open Series returns to Best Bet Jacksonville from January 23rd to February 2nd. Satellites into the $1,500 main event kick off January 4th. Take your shot at big payouts with 8 action-packed events and $500,000 in guarantees. Visit bestbetjacks.com for more details. That's bestbetjacks.com. And we'll see you at the Winter Open starting January 23rd.
If you're looking for the best in indoor air quality, I've got the experts to call. Florida Home AC, the official AC provider of the Jaguars, specializing in the best air quality for your home or work with the Remy Halo. Instead of waiting for pollutants to travel through the ductwork to be neutralized, the Halo cell releases friendly oxidizers every time your fan blows air, helping those in your home that suffer from allergies and other respiratory issues. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and start enjoying cool comfort and clean air.
Open enrollment is here, so it's time to secure health coverage for your family. Whether you need Affordable Care Act plans, dental, or Medicare, visit one of the Florida Blue pop-up enrollment tents near you. They make the process easy and stress-free, with medical and dental insurance you can count on. Plus, listen to this. Based on eligibility, many people pay absolutely nothing for coverage. Find a pop-up tent in the Rose parking lot on Beach Boulevard near Southside and at Night of Wonders at the Orange Park Mall. Here's a reminder for Florida Blue members. You can access Sanitas Medical Center with 3 locations around town offering primary care, walk-in services, an on-site pharmacy, and mental health support. 3 Sanitas Medical Centers and 2 convenient Florida Blue pop-up enrollment sites combined for a winning team in Northeast Florida insurance coverage.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Ammon, you're always talking about how clean air is healthy air. I've had this cold for weeks. Can cleaning my air ducts actually help?
Well, Dad, I'm not a doctor, and let's be honest, you probably caught that cold from one of your grandkids. But I can tell you this, the cleaner your air, the better you'll feel.
Makes sense, but what do air ducts have to do with it?
Your ducts are like the lungs of your home. If they're full of dust, allergens, and who knows what else, all that junk gets blown into the air you breathe, especially now that the heat's running. And the EPA says improving indoor air quality can reduce health risk.
So you're telling me my vents are working harder than my immune system?
Exactly. That's why Zero Res is here. We're NADCA certified, and our truck mount system is the most powerful in the industry. Right now, we're even offering $100 off your total for January.
All right, sign me up. If it makes me feel better and keeps your mom off my back, I'm all in.
Good call, Dad.
Zero Res.
Spelled border backwards.
It's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
Me
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a walk-in closet that's not only beautiful, but incredibly functional for me and Beau Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com. And be sure to check out their end-of-year sale, including 18-month special financing. Closets by Design.
Nick in here for About 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of About 9. Visit About 9 Associates today and experience the difference. About 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, why is it that when you look at how long a store has been in business, that it always seems to be the stores like Underwood's that sell fine quality that have been around the longest?
Frank, that's a question that really doesn't get asked a lot, but it should be. There are a number of reasons, but probably the biggest is because of the endorsements our longtime customers and their pieces of jewelry have given us through the years. You see, when you sell really fine quality jewelry, that piece will last longer and always stay beautiful. It might stay in the same family for generations, and through those years of wear, a lot of compliments will be made and a lot of people will be told where the piece of jewelry came from. You see, at a store like Underwood's, it's our stated goal to be the best jeweler in the South, not the biggest, so everything we do and carry has to help move us toward that goal. And ultimately, it's the satisfied customers wearing fine quality jewelry that have kept Underwood's in Jacksonville since 1928.
Underwood's in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, there will be no change to the college football playoff games. Greg Sankey stuck out his chest. I think it's the first time Greg Sankey hasn't gotten absolutely everything that he wanted, but the games will remain Thursday and Friday night, respectively. Notre Dame, Penn State in your Orange Bowl beginning Thursday night at 7:30. The Fighting Irish favored by 1.5. Your total, 46 in a hook. And then Friday night at 7:30. Ohio State favored by 6. Total's 53.5 against Texas. That's going to be nearby for the boys in Austin. That'll be at Jerry's World at the Cotton Bowl. They're not going to play at the Cotton Bowl. Again, they're going to play indoors at AT&T where the Dallas Cowboys play. So down to the Final Four in the world of college football. I do want to really share a lot of your opinions this hour, because this is our last opportunity to really break bread on this. By the time I get here Monday at 6, I have to believe either way a decision or decisions will be made. If it's not, then, I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to have the words for you if they do not know what they want to do by Monday. Okay? There's, whether you win 44-0 or lose 44-0, Sunday against Indianapolis should not matter. Your decision should already be made. You can't be hesitant. Again, you could have 8 jobs available. You've got to find out. What I secretly hope, and I don't know, no one knows. What I secretly hope is that Shad Khan has been all over this. That Tony Khan has been all over this. And that they have their inner circle. And that there's been communication. And that he's got a list of general manager candidates. He's got a list of head coach candidates. And obviously, Shad Khan's a very smart man. He's going to do things properly. There's no tampering. Nothing's involved. He's going to do it the legal way. within the guidelines of the National Football League. But I want that, and you should want that to start on Monday. That's in doubt. And look how long it took him to decide on Doug Peterson the last time. It took him 5 weeks. They brought him and Jim Caldwell in immediately. And then all these other names and all these other rumors. I hope he does hire a search firm. There's nothing wrong with that. Hire quality people. Trying to find a right general manager is a brutal job. Frankly, to me, I think it's harder than finding a head coach. I mean, you can go out right now and offer everything that you have to Bill Belichick, who just said yes to North Carolina, and you know what you're going to get. You can offer everything you want to Mike Vrabel and know what you're going to get. Offer everything you want to Cliff Kingsbury and know what you are going to get. Do you know what you're going to get from Ben Johnson and Joe Brady? No, you don't. Do you know what you're going to get from Aaron Glenn? No, you don't. You don't. Offensive and defensive coordinators, you just never know. But trying to find the right general manager, we can't say that about GMs. There's only 2 current general managers in the NFL that were general managers prior. One of them is Trent Baalke, who did it in San Francisco. For the most part, this gig is a one-and-done deal. If you fail as a general manager, your days are done at that position. Look at Trent Baalke. He took 4 years off between San Francisco before Dave Caldwell hired him here to head up pro personnel. And where do you go? Do you go to the pro personnel direction? Do you hire an assistant general manager? What would you do if you find out Monday or next week that this organization promotes Ethan Waugh? Okay, Ethan Waugh may be a brilliant football man. Very easily could be. Okay, I mean, it's a lot easier to get information. It's a lot easier to get trustable opinions on coaches than it is on front office types. One is for the lack of, I think, caring. Number 2, it's just not out there. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We can see how someone coaches. They're on the field. They're in the booth. They're vocal. They're not. They're hands-on. They're not. Okay? And that comes through the players. A couple of Jaguar players were asked this week about Doug. They don't know. They don't care. Very rarely do you have players talking about the front office. Okay? Sometimes after the fact, they may out a coach. But you understand where I'm going with this. It's much harder to figure out. To me, it's a much tougher job to find the right general manager than it is the right head coach. Now, you may argue that point. That's fine. I'll listen to you. Yeah, and you hope it's a package deal. If it's a package deal, it kind of smells to me like it'd be coming from Detroit. Yeah. So let's get to some of you on this. I mean, a lot of good stuff coming in. Make that 6709 says post on the video on Facebook. Yada. Ben Johnson. Bernal say he wouldn't take the offensive coordinator job. He would take the offensive coordinator job, in my opinion. I totally trust Greg Huntington. He's friends with Bernal. But Bernal was talking about thinking 4 or 5 plays ahead. Again, the perfect system here with Ben Johnson, and if it is Mark Bernal as the offensive coordinator, is still for Ben Johnson to call plays. I don't want Ben Johnson coming here to become Doug Peterson. I want Ben Johnson to come here to call plays, to be the head coach who calls plays. Ben Johnson is successful in Detroit because he calls plays. 7776, Ballou, give me Ron Rivera or Mike Vrabel. I would be okay with both. I would rather go offense for the reasons that I have identified time and again. And yeah, I was pretty spirited yesterday. Some have accused me of boring radio. I apologize. I was pretty spirited yesterday with my whole approach on this. Shad Khan, Tony Khan, Mark Lamping, whoever the GM is. These interview processes, we have no idea how long they last. They last a day. What do? They have dinner. They go to the chalkboard. They go to the film. They diagram plays. It's question after question after question. If you read, and I know a lot of you out there do, you're so into everything that is going on with this organization. There's been some talk that Ben Johnson has not interviewed especially well. Okay? Again, I can't comment on that anymore because I don't know. I've never been in the room. But my whole point is the best part of this, and this is within reason. This isn't some, guy that looks like he's just drank 16 Red Bulls. I'm talking about a guy who very intelligently can look at Shad Khan and say, man, give me Trevor. Are you kidding me? This team's going to the Super Bowl. You give me Trevor Lawrence. This team's winning a Super Bowl. That's the guy. That's what I want. Remember a few years ago? Oh, I'm trying to remember the names for crying out loud. Man, I think it was it Muschamp or was it might have been McElwain at Florida. And it might have been Dan Mullen at Mississippi State. And all these places like that, and I'm kind of like, well, they're saying they can win now. They're saying they can win now. They're saying right. And then all of a sudden you got to Butch Jones at Tennessee. We got a lot of problems here. We got to fix this. We got to do that. It's like, listen, don't start out by telling us what's wrong. Fix it. There's a difference. Mullen said he could fix it at Mississippi State. McElwain said he could fix it at Florida. I want this coach to look at Shad Khan and say, Trevor Lawrence is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the world. Give him to me. I'm going to make him a Super Bowl winner. I don't want he's hesitant. Trevor doesn't protect the ball. We're going to have to teach. We're going to have to coach. I mean, I don't know if I trust his football instinct. No, I don't want that guy. I don't want that. I want someone that's telling me that this is a supermodel. This is a fired up Ferrari. Straight out of the garage. That's what this team needs. It's going to work. Now, I know there's a lot of hot air out there. I know there's a lot of gas bags out there. Hell, some of you may think I'm one. But that's the approach. Show it to us. Show it to us on the blackboard. Look at this ridiculous offense that Press Taylor's been running. Look at this ridiculous play calling that Press Taylor's been running. Show me on the board what you're going to do. Tell me you're going to target Brian Thomas Jr. more than 4 times, the way that Trevor Lawrence was doing when things got underway around here. And I understand that Thomas is getting targeted more now because Gabe is out and Evan is out and Christian. But just follow me on it. That's what you want in an intelligent way with a lot of spirit, a lot of oomph. The type of guy that's got that passion of a Gus Bradley, but also is a incredible in-game play caller. Can you find that guy? Who is that guy? You tell me. I'm getting Ben Johnson after Ben Johnson after Ben Johnson after Ben Johnson. What if you can't get Ben Johnson? What if you've started too late to get Ben Johnson? What if there's another team that right now says, we're going to get Ben Johnson? We're the Chicago Bears. We're going to give this guy $10 million a year. We're going to fire Ryan Poles. We're going to bring in someone from that Detroit front office. Bam. I don't know. Joe Brady, same deal. Is Joe Brady? Is Liam Cohen? Cliff Kent? Who is it?
How many good candidates do you think that are out there? Like, obviously, we know there's going to be a lot of jobs open. But, I mean, like, if there were just, say, no jobs open right now, how many good candidates are out there to be a head coach right now?
Less than 5?
Yeah, I'd agree. And, I mean, every time we go through this cycle, less than half are good or, make it 4 years.
How many? Put it this way. Let's go back 2 years ago. Brian Daboll and Eric Bieniemy. Hot and hot, right? I mean, how many years did we talk about Eric Bieniemy? Give him a shot.
Gosh.
Give him a shot.
Every offseason.
Now, it's not his fault, but he failed in Carolina, and he failed at UCLA. He's available. If I told you right now, Shad Khan's bringing in Eric Bieniemy for an interview, you'd drive off the road. Because it's a what have you done for me lately? If Brian Daboll gets fired Monday in New York, Brian Daboll has learned under Belichick and Saban and McDermott. He's considered a very good coach. He has not had a quarterback in New York. If I was to say to you, Brian Daboll's coming in for an interview, right now, you would tell me to shut up. That's how quickly these things change. Sometimes they work hand in hand. Oftentimes, a great head coach with a great quarterback, the best of all time. Many of you didn't want Belichick here because you're convinced Belichick cannot win without Brady. You may be right. To me, and we got to take this break. I'm going to get back to you. I'm staying with you this entire hour. This is all you. 641-1010. Text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. To me, finding the right head coach is right on par with first-round quarterbacks. Just look through the list. Seriously. Start at 2023. Or go to this year if you want. And just go backwards year after year after year. And put them up next to one another. Look at first-round quarterbacks that were selected. And look at new head coaches who were appointed. And what is the success rate of both? It's way less than 50%. What is it, around 20%? 25%? 1 out of every 4 makes it. 1 out of every 5 makes it. And unfortunately, when we talk about quarterbacks, we're not talking about being a serviceable guy. Let's face it. When you're a quarterback, it comes down to simply, are you a franchise guy or are you not? This organization paid Trevor Lawrence way too fast. I yelled about it all year. What's the hurry? Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, Ballou. They're going to have to pay for. Okay. I don't know what I'm talking about. I know the guy came up with his 7th injury, 5 last year, 2 this year, and he's out. You've paid him. Now find the right coach to coach him. We got much more to do.
Stretch game day as far as you can with an extra quarter of Teal Talk. Join hacker Leon and Coach Campo for the window world of Northeast Florida 5th quarter. 2 hours after the final whistle on game day. Brought to you by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives, focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners, financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Mia here for MyBookie. You have 6 huge College Bowl games prior to the weekend and then more NFL bangers Saturday and Sunday. Let's talk motivation as the Browns travel to play the Ravens Saturday. Baltimore favored by 17.5. The Birds win the AFC North with a win, but a loss and the Steelers win against Cincinnati would drop the Ravens to the 5 or the 6 seed. Baltimore should go all out against Cleveland, and it's parlay time. The spread is huge but doable, as is the over on the 42-point game total. Book it. Sunday Night Football, this game will determine who wins the NFC North and the 1 seed in the conference standings, as the Vikings are 2.5-point dogs at Detroit. Both teams will be going all out. The Lions may have a bit of a hangover after a tough win on Monday night. I'd take the Vikings and the points. Sign up now at MyBookie and still get a 50% deposit bonus. That's half your money back on your first deposit up to $1,000. Promo code 1010XL. Make yourself some cash with MyBookie.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Don't ignore plumbing leaks. They can lead to mold and mildew or structural damage and drain your wallet. So when you have a leak and can't wait a week, call Roland Reich Plumbing. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Start the new year with a fresh look for your home. It's the Renewal by Andersen New Year's sales event. For a limited time, save 20% off on our energy-efficient windows and patio doors designed to keep your home comfortable year-round and your energy bills down. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation. But hurry, the special New Year's offer won't last. License number CGC 1527613.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 3rd, 1991, hockey legend Wayne Gretzky becomes the fastest and youngest player in NHL history to score 700 goals at the age of 29 in 886 games.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
When my wrist pain was acting up and I needed help, I took Dan Hickens' advice and headed over to see the experts at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. This is Stuart Moore with the PGA Tour. I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whenever you have a need, they took great care of me. They'll take great care of you.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
How about that bass line by John Paul Jones? 79 years young today. Many consider him the greatest bassist of all time. Right, John Entwistle, the late John Entwistle of The Who. Who else would you put up there, the great bassist of all time? I'm a huge Sting guy. Who else on bass really stud? Geddy Lee with Rush is pretty phenomenal. I don't know. The bass is kind of the glue of the band, right? Didn't get a lot of credit unless you are a singer like Sting or Geddy Lee. That's why they probably came to mind for me. But 79 years of age. Also, Stephen Stills, 80 today. So what a day. January 3rd, as we have comfortably now moved in to the new year. All right, let's get back to you. 7777 says, Ballou, Dayball is a huge step up over Peterson. Okay. 8283. Ballou, I think Cliff Kingsbury could be a good pick. I think that, I'll say this about Cliff Kingsbury now. I think he moves the needle. I think he's a guy that would get some things spinning in this city. I don't think everyone would love the selection. I think most would come out. Let's face it. It doesn't matter who you hire as long as you win. I mean, as long as you come in and win, it doesn't matter who it is. Well, that's the problem. This organization doesn't win. But I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. 69-71. Ballou. If a head coach has been fired due to production, I don't want it. I don't want his Vrabel. He left, and the Titans did fall apart. Okay, yeah, but he really didn't have a quarterback, did he? Did Mike Vrabel have a QB? I mean, looking at what Brian Callahan now, they're going to go back to Will Levis Sunday. How many people in Nashville right now, once they get through NASCAR and country music and barbecue and hoops, and then, oh, yeah, finally, yeah, we do play some football here in Nashville. As soon as they get to that, how many people are going to say, boy, I'm so glad we have Brian Callahan as our head coach than Mike Vrabel? Anyone going to say that, Pockets?
Negative.
Nope.
No.
Not going to happen. 17-29. Blue, go get Jack Del Rio. I don't think that would happen. Okay. 34-11. Blue, Tony Baselli should be the general manager. He cares and he knows what they need. I think Tony would be phenomenal in the front office as far as being involved in the grind, in the responsibility of drafting with no front office experience. That may be a stretch. And I love Tony. I've known Tony forever. Good friends with Tony. I think an executive vice president, the liaison, right now there's zero relationship in that building. There's zero communication in that building. Okay, it's not a normal organization to lose 5 out of 6 the way the team did a year ago and have to wait 18 days to hear from Trent Baalke. That's Bush. That's a bad organization. Okay? There's no other way to say it. And I know some people are scared too. But that's bad. If Tony Baselli's there, he can go to Trent Baalke and say, bro, you got to talk to the media. It's your job. And let Shad Khan know, because who knows where Shad is? He's in a different country or a different continent. Shad, you got to talk every once in a while. Or your general manager's not talking. Communication, folks, it's one of the biggest problems we have in our lifetime. Communication. Jaguars PR staff does a wonderful job. They walk out Doug Peterson 4 days a week. They walk out the coordinators. They walk out the players. Trevor, when he's healthy, he speaks 3 times a week. Your general manager needs to be heard, especially in a town like Jacksonville. This is all you got. I'm out in Chicago here, where you got the Bears and the Blackhawks and the Cubs and the Whitehawks and the White Sox and the Bulls. You've got one team here. Reach out to your fans. If you don't talk to me, guess what? I'm going to find things to talk about. It's not about me. It's not about the media. It's about you, the fan. Got some good news for the Jaguars. Darnell Savage available Sunday. Cleared of the concussion protocol. Ventrell Miller, questionable with the ankle. Anthony Richardson's not going to play. A back. We were just talking about it a minute ago, Dylan. First-round draft picks and head coaches, most don't work out. Look at that draft class. Already, look at that draft class. Will Levis, no. Anthony Richardson, who knows? C.J. Stroud, major fall. All right, Bryce Young's bounced back a little bit after being forgotten a year ago. 53-51, Blue. Trevor is hesitant because he doesn't trust this system. We are failing him as a franchise. Look at Baker and Donald on new franchises. Well, and those are 2 really good stories. Jared Goff's another. They gave up on Jared Goff in L.A., and they made the right move because Stafford won a Super Bowl. And when you win a Super Bowl, everything else is everything else. But Goff's in a real position now where Detroit could win it. And
Coaching matters, man. Coaching matters. Big time. I mean, dude had Jeff Fisher. And then McVay had him, and he got the most out of him. He said, all right, we got to do something else here. And they made it to the Super Bowl.
Darnold has had an incredible year. Baker Mayfield has had an incredible year. Those are, along with, who are we talking about here? Goff. Those are the three best quarterbacks in the NFC. Can you imagine if we said that in August? That the three best quarterbacks this year in the NFC are going to be Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and Jared Goff? But I will caution anyone on this. These are few and far between. Right? I mean, Brad Johnson bounced back, won a Super Bowl in Tampa. Who else kind of caught lightning in a bottle later in their career at quarterback? You just don't find them. Guys disappear, and that ends up being it.
Case Keenum that 1 year, 2017, when they went to the NFC title game.
Okay.
And I'm reaching.
Yeah, you're reaching a little bit. Kurt Warner, right? But, I mean, it seems like in this league, when you blow your opportunity, it's going to be tough to earn another one. I mean, one of the decisions this organization is going to have to make is on Mac Jones. I don't want Mac Jones outpriced in the market as a backup quarterback. I mean, what's he going to cost? I just don't think you can turn around and say to Mac, hey, we'll give you 1 year, $6 million. No, he's looking at this as I'm sure he hopes he plays well Sunday and that he can get himself a 3-year deal somewhere. Is he going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL? I don't think he's earned that. But maybe a pretty good deal as a backup quarterback.
One intriguing storyline that's going to happen in the offseason is going to be that J.J. McCarthy. Because, the Vikings got Daniel Jones, and there are reports out there that he might be traded for a couple draft picks. Well, because being the draft class for quarterbacks here is not good.
No. And they're going to be overdrafted. With Sanders and Ward, no doubt. 28-35, Ballou. Shad Khan needs to wake up. Well, he's consistent in not saying anything. So I would rather have that than spotty. And the last time he said something, however, was what? This is the best team ever assembled in Jacksonville. Do you think Shad Khan privately right now is regretting making those comments? And you and I both know that came from Trent Baalke. I was there when Doug Peterson was asked that question. You should have seen his facial expression. I'm sure you can Google it and pull it up. Doug Peterson looked at the media like, what? And what coach is ever going to go into the start of the season, look at the media and say, this is the best team we've ever had? I mean, that's putting a bullseye right on your forehead. That was a leaked Trent Baalke, not even leaked. That was a conversation with Trent Baalke to Shad Khan. This is the best team we've ever spent. He spent more than, $300 million. I mean, Trent spends money now. It's amazing to me. Geno Smith. Okay, I'll give you that from the 0620. Thank you. The greatest bass player in rock and roll history is Les Claypool. Okay. Here's another one for Les Claypool. Yo, truth teller, saying it again, Jed Fish. I know a lot of things about Jed. I know his leaving here wasn't under the greatest of circumstances. Let's just leave it at that. I'm going to say no. 47-51 Ballou. Cliff Kingsbury would turn me into a bowling fan on Sundays. Really? I was going to mention Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. 5105 Ballou. Rick, I say keep Baalke. Keep Peterson in place for one more year until the end of their contract. We're going to start the construction of the new stadium and just make them play through it. Long, extensive search. Take your time, right? No, you can't waste another year of Trevor Lawrence, man. He's going to be in year 5. The guy's had 7 injuries in 2 years. He's had 2 right shoulders redone in 4 years. You're looking at things as a bean counter, okay? Does that make the most sense financially? Maybe. And Shad Khan has that track record of making guys, work out their contract. But it gets thrown back in your face when you pay Cam Robinson $7 million to walk away and get a 5th-round pick from 2026. When you pay the dead cap money for Roy Robertson Harris just to leave. So I don't know what the salary is for Balky. I have an understanding what I think it is. But, I mean, you're giving that up by just saying goodbye to these players to get out of the building because they're bad for the building. I disagree. Yeah, another one of these years. That's the other part of all of this. Trevor says all the right things. Another year of losing, another year of injuries. And even though he's got that money waiting for him, what's that really going to do to his psyche if this thing doesn't change? You've got to build it around him. And this is a better football team now than it was. It's better than when Urban got here. It's better than when Peterson got here. There's some good starting points with this football team. You've got a true superstar at wide receiver in Thomas. And I think Parker Washington's a solid slot guy. I tell you what really hurts here late in the year is losing Walker Little. He needed those 65 snaps a Sunday. I wish he could have played it out. He's already been announced he's out. We know that, the high ankle. I wanted him getting more reps. More and more reps. Now, all of a sudden, you're like, ooh, Walker Little gets hurt a lot. You'd love to believe that your tackle combination is going to be solid. You got two backs that you like. That's another part of this. Regardless of who comes in, whether Trent stays or who comes in, think of the litany of decisions this organization is going to have to make. Christian Kirk, cut, right? Evan Ingram, do you cut him or trade him? Do you trade Travis Etienne the final year of his deal? Running backs don't get second contracts. When they do, they fall apart, right? Can you get anything for Etienne? Or is it worth playing him for one more year, have him play it out? Devin Lloyd. Are your future linebackers a low account and Ventrell Mill? What does that do for Devin? Do you get it? I mean, that's just off the top of my head. You're not going to get first-round talent for what you invested in a first-rounder in ETN or with Lloyd. You're not going to get close to a first round. But does it make sense to move him as opposed to just losing him at the end of the year? I don't know. And, of course, that's for next year. But you would make the trade now, make it on draft day. All right, final touches on this one. My goodness, man. My goodness. I'm telling you, believe me when I say this. It's going to happen. One day, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be Super Bowl champions.
He's a master at recon. Ace Carline takes you behind enemy lines on 1010XL.
What's your position? That's top secret.
Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway.
Football's heating up. The NBA is back. And on Hard Rock Bet, you can bet every sport. Even combine all your sports into one bet. One Florida bettor put $50 on a combo parlay and won more than $100,000. And they tacked on another $10,000 to that win with a daily profit boost. Promos every day for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. Win your first bet or get up to $100 back in bonus bets. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
I've known Glenn Cohen for a long time as a friend and a lawyer. Persistent and fair, Glenn and his firm have represented clients from North Florida and South Georgia for over 40 years in all kinds of personal injury cases. If I had such a case, call Glenn at Barnes & Cohen.
Mia here. When it comes to roofing, whether it be shingles, metal, or most repairs, there is one name that has protected your home since 1999. Pro-Jax Roofing. Serving all of Northeast Florida, Mike and his guys have been repairing and replacing roofs for 25 years. Need insurance help? Mike's team can help. Raised in a military family, Mike provides great attention to detail with unparalleled quality and workmanship. They also have warranties, so you can have peace of mind. Call Mike today for a free estimate or online at projaxroofingfl.com.
This is Taylor Doll of Helmets and Heels inviting you to join me and Bud Light at Top Dog Tavern for the Jags game this Sunday. Let's close out the season and toast to new beginnings, hopefully. We'll be at Top Dog with prizes and beer, so join me for a chance to win Jaguars tickets to next season.
Nick in here with a message from Zero Res. Did you have people over for the holidays? Kids everywhere, dirt everywhere, all over the carpets, the rugs, the sofas, and chairs? Did the kitchen tile take a beating? Sounds like it's time to call my guys over at Zero Res. The Zero Res techs will get the house looking great again. Folks, if you need help cleaning up after the holiday, give Zero Res a call. Right now, 25% off carpet cleaning, 25% off upholstery cleaning. Zero Res, spell it forwards. Zero Res, spell it backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hi, Jags fans. Walker Little here for my friends at Kingfish Pest Control. Playing offensive line in the NFL, I must block and protect on every down. When it comes to keeping my home pest-free, I expect that same level of protection. So I contacted Kingfish after seeing thousands of positive online customer reviews about their service. I can confirm from personal experience, bugs don't stand a chance getting past Kingfish Pest Control. Do what I did. Reach out to Kingfish Pest Control to protect your home, a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Nick in here for About 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of About 9. Visit About 9 Associates today and experience the difference. About 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Tailgate special alert. 3 pounds of marinated chicken, 2 pounds of marinated steak tips, 2 pounds of fresh ground beef, and 2 pounds of homemade sausage for only $80 to feed your crew.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Make a resolution this new year to send all of your friends or family a Kuhn Flowers floral arrangement. RJ Saunders here with 1010XL, and okay, how about sending just one person you love a floral arrangement? Kuhn Flowers can handle it.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
But the big news today is that Anthony Richardson will not play. It's going to be Joe Flacco. Another one of those quarterbacks who kind of resurrected his career, Super Bowl winning quarterback. You throw that question out, how many active Super Bowl starting quarterbacks are there in the NFL? I think most, if you were like to grab a bar bet or something, would forget about Joe Flacco, right? You're going to remember Patrick Holmes. You're going to remember Matt Stafford. Quite a few retired, though. Brady, both Mannings, Breeze, Roethlisberger. Aaron Rodgers still hanging around. Is there anyone else out there who's won a Super Bowl? Rodgers, Flacco.
Foles is retired.
Rodgers, Flacco, Mahomes, and Stafford. I think that's it. Off the top of my head. Starting quarterbacks. Could be a couple of backups lingering. But anyway, Anthony Richardson, the back injury, out. So it's Joe Flacco. The Jaguars with some good news today health-wise. Ventrell Miller with the ankle officially listed as questionable. Darnell Savage has been cleared from the concussion protocol. Things are rough right here. And I'm not in the mood to say they could be worse. But look what's going on in Indianapolis. You know they're going to play hard on Sunday because Shane Steichen is under fire. He's 16 and 17 in 2 years. But he's hearing about it, and I read a lot about what's coming out of Indianapolis, and the media's on him. Who's the head honcho? McAfee?
McAfee, yeah.
Crushed the organization this week. Chris Ballard, I believe, year 7. They haven't made it to the playoffs in 4 years. And I tell you who else looks like he's really going to be fired on Monday is Gus Bradley, their defensive coordinator. Also within the division, again, Tennessee going back to Will Levis. So it just seems to be one thing after another. 1729 says, I'm wacko for Flacco. Isn't that like the old Pat O'Brien? What was Michael Jackson's name? I'm wacko for, was it Jacko? I'm wacko for Jack. I think that's where he got it. For Michael. Remember, Pat, you're too young to even know who Pat O'Brien is, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't remember him in the days of CBS where he was like courtside during like the Lakers-Celtics rivalry? It was Brent Musburger calling the games, but the sideline reporter was Pat O'Brien. And then he one night he sniffed 3 8-balls, and he was trying to pick up some ladies of the night, and it kind of destroyed his career. He's just gone away. I don't know what happened to Pat O'Brien. Sounds like the type of guy be fun to party with, though. 6396. Ballou, give me Mike Vrabel to bring toughness and nastiness to this team in this city. The city would get it. Would the team? That comment was mine. I'm scared about it. I am. This has turned into such a brutal profession, being a coach. Because you really can't coach the way you were taught to coach. And it's because of players' rights. And the way that I was raised, there's no such thing. The coach is the teacher, is the leader, is the parent. And, of course, I'm talking about growing up through high school. I never played at any type of significant level, but you see it all the time. I mean, I was popping off at the beginning of the show about how this 4-win team has a pizza cook-off, and everyone smiles and everything's great down at the and it's like, what if Doug Peterson walked in and was like, what the hell are you doing? And flipped over the pizza tray. And it's like, we suck. What are you all smiles for? Having a pizza contest. Well, that's old school. Those days are gone. Doug Peterson's not going to do that. Doug Peterson's probably going to ask for a slice. He's probably going to ask for Anton's slice, and he's going to ask for a slice from ETN's and test it out and do it and smile. He's a player's coach, right? Everyone wants to be a player's coach. Everyone wants to be best friends.
Pizza and ice cream go together, right?
Yeah. I don't know if the Mike Vrabel situation is going to work everywhere. I tell you, will help Mike Vrabel, a great quarterback. Look at Josh McDaniels. He was very militant. He was a total hard ass, and he failed twice. He learned under Belichick, and again, those are few and far between. The Coughlins, the Belichicks, the Parcells, those guys are gone. You can't treat today's players like that. You have to respect them. You have to put them at your level. And I hate to say it this way, but I will say it. If you're young, I mean, wanting to be a coach, that used to be very desirable for a lot of people. A lot of former players pick two avenues. One is broadcasting, the other is coaching. But those who are my age and younger, okay, certainly older, but younger, you were coached a certain way. You can't coach today the way that you were coached. Because today's, I mean, you know, and especially in college, well, they'll just pick up the ball and transfer. I mean, they'll just call mom and say, Mommy, I want to try. I mean, I hate it, but it's, you got to adapt. You do. You have to adapt to it. Look at when Trevor went down. Still very disappointed. There was a handful of guys who stuck up for the quarterback. They know who they are. There were others who, yeah, it is what it is, right? I mean, go back and rewatch it. Players and coaches. Now, how did Doug Peterson handle the concussion of Trevor Lawrence? What did he say in postgame? I mean, just look at that. And look at Houston. Look at Houston's general manager. Look at Houston's head coach. They knew they were in the wrong. DeMeco Ryans knew that he was 100%. And look what he did. He fought for his team. I'll give you that with Mike Vrabel. If Trevor Lawrence got laid out on that sideline at home, Mike Vrabel would have made a big deal about it. He wouldn't have moseyed out with two hands in his front pockets like Doug Peterson did, with his call sheet tucked between his elbow and his ribs. It's a terrible look. And it was an even worse look with his post-game press conference comments. But I do. I feel for any of you youngsters out there, whether you're getting into Pop Warner and making your way to high school. I mean, geez, I just can't imagine what it would be like. I mean, the team I love more than any is the Boston Bruins. Bruce Cassidy, right here, former coach when I did beer league hockey, the ECHL in the mid-'90s with Joe Zidlow and the Jacksonville Lizard Kings. The head coach was Bruce Cassidy. Bruce Cassidy took the Boston Bruins to the best regular season record ever. Actually, check that. That was the year after with Jim Montgomery. Bruce Cassidy took Boston year after year after year deep into the playoffs. Well, some of the veterans, David Krejci and Patty Bergeron, oh, he's too hard on us. What they do, they fired this guy with an incredible winning percentage. He goes off to Las Vegas and wins the Stanley Cup. Then they bring in Jim Montgomery from Denver, the University of Denver. He goes 140-40, and they fire him. Okay? It's that in itself is, we should have a long conversation about that once the season is over. I don't care what the sport is. I don't care what the situation is, man. It must be so hard to try to coach today's players because today's players are soft. And, you know, it's our fault. Mom and dad's our fault. We allowed it. We allowed them to quit everything and not work. You know, if it doesn't work out your way, transfer schools or quit your job or this and that. And I hate to sound like it was tougher when I was growing up, but guess what? It was. It was. So Mike Vrabel may be great, but I think there would be some that would think, he's a little bit too tough. Mike Vrabel. We want a softer coach. We want a player's coach. And to realistically look at it, how many coaches are there like that? Who was I bragging about at the beginning of the show? When you talk about a culture change and getting guys to run through a brick wall, it's Jim Harbaugh. That's not Jim Harbaugh's style. And that's the type of guy you got to find. Discipline is done, folks. It's done. Have a pizza cook-off instead. Have a great weekend. Oh, my goodness. The next time we talk, will it be Black Monday? Or will it be same old, same old, same old, same old? We'll see. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. Hacker is next. Make sure you're here for your 4-12 Jaguars Sunday at 1. I'm Rick Ballou. We'll talk Monday at 6.